So we now move on to the next question. I think, sir, you've covered it very beautifully. From education, which was in our times, which was in silos, has now gone into the multidisciplinary aspect. And today, as you pointed out, we cannot think of education only in terms of gaining knowledge, but it's also addition of skills that will lead them to a prosperous life. You also pointed out that we are living in an age of instant gratification. You know, we want an acknowledgement and gratification just at the blink of an eye. So, given to understand that, these children, the new generation that we are so worried about, how to make them resilient?
Yeah, the first thing to make them resilient, we think we need to protect them. Hide them from all the real world. Give them everything. Don't expose them. That is the mindset of families. It's the other way around. You need to expose them. But you cannot expose them. You can't say, go and lie down on a track near Dadar and hope no train will run today. You get me? That's also not the exposure we want. You have to give them what I often call a thing called controlled adversity. आप जैसे छोटे बच्चे को साइकिल चलाना सिखाते हैं, right? You first hold the cycle and make the child go. Then you say, अच्छा अब आप pedal try करो. You're still holding the cycle. Then you get a tricycle. You're still walking with the child, but वो tricycle का support है. फिर एक दिन आप हाथ छोड़ देते हो, tricycle पे चलता है. Then you remove the side wheels. Then the child learns how to cycle. But in the process, the child falls many times. Or even a child who is 9 months, 1 year, one year, few months old, is starting to get up and walk. He'll stumble and fall a few times. But he'll fall in your presence, under your safety. You've got to give a chance to a child to face the real world. For example, take money for example. We give pocket money, right? So what is happening? We are giving pocket money. And then you are telling them, itna paisa milega, tum itna kharch karo, tum kuch. Now that child doesn't care what they spend it on. If it finishes, they will ask you for more. Or if they say, no, ye limit hai, then within that month or whatever time you've given them, they will try and adjust it. On the other hand, if you tell them, okay, you tell me how much pocket money you need for what? When I give you pocket money, what do you use it for? Right? Suppose you had a choice. Now obviously, let me assure you, no kid will say, okay, I want as much pocket money as Mukesh Bhai gives to his son. Right? Nobody will say, I'm telling you. They know your family situation. In that, whatever they say we want for this reason. You say, okay, we earn X amount of money. We also have aspirations. But we are always, aren't we all always earning a little less than what our aspirations are? Because the day you earn that much, your aspiration also jumps. Yes or no? After you have two-wheeler, you want a four-wheeler. Four-wheeler, you have, in my time, there was a thing called Maruti 800. Big thing it came. आजकल कोई दिखता है रोड पे नहीं. So you want a bigger car, then you want an SUV. Then you say, no, I can't share a wife, car with my wife, उसको अलग car चाहिए. So as your income goes up, aspiration goes up. But at each stage, isn't your income just a little short of your aspiration? Am I right? So the kids have to be taught this. Look, money is not limitless. Money is not falling out of trees. You decide, you have X amount of money. You want to get more pocket money, I'll give you also. Please justify what you need it for. Or, that's one. Second thing is, please don't give them free success. I see in so many schools, everybody gets a star. Or, am I right? Or everybody gets a prize, or everybody comes on stage. There is no sense of achievement for the kid. There will be some small kid like a prop dressed up like a cactus tree or something in the 5th row, and the parents are clapping when they look. The child is going to sleep also in the stage performance. Alright, but my kid is on the stage. It is for you, it's not for the kid. The kid must get a sense of small achievement. I'll give you a very mundane thing. अभी सब जगह कचरा पड़ा रहता है. Suppose a child picks up one of those ruffle lace का packet or something, picks it up and takes it and puts it in a dustbin. You got to recognize and reward that. Right? Or you tell a child, okay, if you collect so many, you see plastic bottles lying around in our colony, if you collect 100 bottles, I'll give you some reward of your choice. There has to be a sense of reward and achievement linked to each other. Today, very often we are giving the reward in anticipation.
Yeah.
How many of you have got jobs, not businesses? Anybody of you got jobs? Do you get paid before the month or after the month?
After the month.
So what is your company doing? They say, काम दिखाओ, पैसा देंगे. या कम से कम work to, if you work from home, at least log in. If you are at office, at least turn up. तब हम आपको पैसे देंगे. हाँ या ना? So in the real world, are you doing this with your children? Do you give pocket money at the end of the month or beginning of the month? But is it for this current month or the previous month? You are giving it for the current month. Try a small shift in this. Right? You are giving the same amount of money. After the first month, it doesn't matter. No, वो cycle चल रहा है. But the feeling is, look, because you have done this, and it need not be a fixed amount. It can be a small variable. But you say, okay, if this month you have done this good job, you'll get more. Don't penalize them because they have done less. Because then there is resentment. आपकी कोई तनख्वाह काटेगा तो आपको मंजूर है? आपकी बाइक 3 दिन नहीं आएगी, आप पैसा काटोगे, उसको मंजूर है? आप फिर भी पूरा महीना
छोड़ देगी. वो दूसरे दिन छोड़ देगी.
No. But आप अपने बच्चे को कैसे दूसरे दिन छोड़ दोगे, या बच्चा आपको कैसे दूसरे दिन छोड़ देगा?
वो तो नहीं सवाल.
हालांकि दिल में हो. But you can't do that, no? So, therefore, don't cut the pocket money. So keep it at a base level, and like you have incentives in business and in work, incentivize them for good conduct, good behavior, good values. Okay, because I'll tell you, there are 5 things a school or a child should grow up with. Right? One is knowledge, school provides. Skills, okay, many of the schools are providing, or you may provide at home in some way. Then the values, both home and school is providing.
Correct.
But there are 2 more things. One is the traits that they develop. All right, this is a very slow and lifetime process. And finally, the most determining thing is the attitude. Right? Wow. The attitude that a child has in life. So I'll tell you, let's say in your family you had some patients with, say, cancer. Some people will suddenly become depressed, मर गए, डूब गए. Some people behave, कोई problem नहीं है, देखी जाएगी. जितने दिन है उतने दिन ऐश करो. Do we have such kind of examples? Somebody is very ill, very cheerful. Somebody is slightly ill, very upset. कि मेरे साथ क्या हो गया? Why is God punishing me? You understand? So it is that attitude matters. You name any successful person in life who is running on a negative attitude. एक भी दिखा दो मुझे. Because he is positive not only for today, positive for tomorrow. Right? What does that bring up in the child? It brings up 2 things when we don't realize it. One is risk. If you are at positive attitude means, ठीक है, I'll go for skydiving, देखी जाएगी, maybe I may crash and die, but I will do skydiving. ठीक है कि नहीं? Yes, there are safety precautions, you have harness, सब कुछ है. फिर भी accident हो सकता है. That Ferris wheel can break down one day. But the thrill of going the Ferris wheel is there, it's a risk, you know it, you're doing it. But with that also comes responsibility. जब आप risk लेते हो, and you take risk with your own money, with your own future, then comes responsibility. कि I cannot be careless. So when you give pocket money or other things, pardon me, sorry. There's an element of risk, there's also an element of responsibility. And the child of the future, if you can develop this sense of responsibility in the child. Tell me as mothers, how many of you send your children to school without a tiffin? I mean, if you send a dabba with them. How many of you send your kids without dabba? कि आज मूड नहीं, आज जाओ. हाँ?
कैंटीन में खा लेना.
रोज बोलती हो? क्यों? आज ये तो कैंटीन का आज ऑप्शन आया है ना. एक ज़माना था when I was growing up, there was no option. Even if my mother had fever, डब्बा बनता था. Have you understood? और कुछ नहीं तो then some close relative or neighbor would, make the डब्बा and give it to you. कि मेरे बेटे के लिए दे रही हूँ, आपको भी दे रही हूँ. Am I right?
Sure.
So that is what? That is the responsibility, na? It looks like a very small thing. डब्बे में क्या है? But it's your sense of responsibility. कि this is something I cannot deviate from. Moment the child has that sense of responsibility. Now with that comes many things. You can call it integrity, honesty, any value that you assign to it. But moment I feel responsible, I am not being honest because my parents said it's good to be honest. I am honest because I feel like being honest. Then I'll be honest. Otherwise, आपको दिखावे के लिए I'm sure you are honest. It's very easy. Is it not? So these are some of the things our kids are going to grow up with. But the core of it comes to resilience. And it comes to both physical and emotional resilience. And we spend a lot of time today in schools talking about emotional quotient, emotional resilience. There is also physical resilience. If your body is sick, can your mind be healthy? So, when it comes to having extracurricular activities, sports, adventure, a lot of schools say, sir, we are focused on academics because marks count. Yes, marks count. Marks count for the board exam. Marks count for college admission. Marks don't count fully for life. Okay. Why are many of you members of various clubs and all? Why do you join that club? Only to go and eat in the cafe? You'll have a swimming pool, you'll have a spa, you'll have some table tennis, badminton, pickleball, something you'll have. Right? You're going for that gym, not only for going and eating in the restaurant of the club. So that is the point. You realize the value of this multifaceted development of your child when you grow up yourself. When you know it's valuable, why are you not giving it to the child now?
So that coming to the next question, I will break water or coffee.
No problem. The coughing is a sign of nervousness. Huh?
We wouldn't take that, sir. No ways. So how can parents strike a perfect balance between love and discipline? Because, and do you think the definition of discipline in parents has transformed over years?
Yeah, there was more focus on visible discipline. बाबूजी आए हैं पैर छुओ, बाबूजी ने बोला है मुंह बंद रखो. Am I right? It was visible, overt discipline. But like I give you the example of making the dabba every day. That is covert discipline. It's inner discipline. What does it come from? It comes from the discipline that this is non-negotiable. This is something ये तो होगा ही होगा. बच्चा स्कूल जाएगा, उसके साथ डब्बा भेजेंगे, टाइम से या तो गाड़ी में या बस में बिठाएंगे. Right? These are non-negotiables.
Yes.
So whatever is non-negotiable is a form of discipline. And the best form of discipline is which comes from within. Now how long can you enforce this on your child? Up to a certain age? How many of you got teenager children? Do you find a change in them from say 10 years ago? Have you changed as parents? Aren't you still the same loving parent? Aren't you the same loving parent? But that kid has gone rotten, no? खराब हो गया. All because of the school. School ने खराब कर दिया. So why has it happened? Because the child is evolving. And things are changing. So the child felt very secure. आप छोटे बच्चे को अपने गोदी में लेते हैं, you sing songs to them and you say also and the kid says some silly phrase also, choo 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 choo, oh so cute and all. Right? As the kids start growing up, you are now trying to impose a world on them. नहीं ऐसा मत करो, ये मत करो, right? हमारे घर में तो ऐसे ही होता है. The child says, yeah, if you let me tell you, how many people in your family, without telling them also, will wear shoes and go to where the temple or the murti is? Anybody in your family who will wear shoes and enter the temple? बताना पड़ता है. Okay. How many people who smoke will go inside a gurdwara with a cigarette in their mouth? बताना पड़ता है कि लिखा है रूल में, बाहर बोर्ड लिखा है कि सिगरेट अंदर ले जाना मना है. Not required. Because they learn over a period of time and they want to do that. Okay. I mean, even in a school like ours, which now 150 years old, but fairly well-blessed families, children come there. Even now, the kids, the growing up kids will come and touch your feet. They will touch your feet in junior school or in, say, lower forms. In the middle ages, they have reluctance. And then by the time they leave in school, they are again touching your feet. Because they have grown up and realized. Now, there is a certain age at which they will share everything with you. Do you find some of your children who are growing up now sharing less and less with you? Teenage children, when they are around 7th, 8th, 9th standard, do they share less with you and share more with their friends? Why? Because the time for judgment has come. And their time of exploration has come and your time of judgment has come. अच्छा, तुम लड़कों से बात करती हो? हमारे घर में तो हम तो जब थे स्कूल हम तो ऐसे नहीं करते थे. But in your time things are different. Maybe you didn't even study in a co-ed school, yeah, right? And times have changed. At the workplace, are the men and women working together? Right? Here in school is an example. She has male colleagues, female colleagues, everything. So why are we discriminating at a young age? So moment we go into judgmental mode, what happens in judgment mode? To give judgment you have to speak. So we talk to the children. Right? Now you ask yourself on an average day, how much time in a day, with whatever time you get with your kid, how much time do you spend talking and how much time do you spend listening? What should be the good ratio? After all, आपको बच्चे से भी तो बात करनी है. What should be a good ratio? Any parent with growing up children? One at a time, please. Anyone. Yes, ma'am. In the
More of listening and less.
नहीं more नहीं है. 51-49.
Ratio.
51-49.
70-30 is what one.
Okay. How many of you listen 70 and talk 30? एक हाथ पूरे हॉल में एक हाथ. Okay, पीछे से give moral support. हाँ, you are a friend? Go. Okay. But just imagine the whole hall. Okay, and if the ratio goes to 95-5, it's awesome. But if not, 70-30 भी हो जाए तो बहुत है. But ideally at least 80-20 होना चाहिए. वो बच्चा आपको, he's got so many experiences of the day, and every day there are new experiences. They want to share things. One day some young child has heard a gali in the school from another child. He wants to come and ask you, but he says, no, हमारे घर में gali is not allowed. How do I ask my mother what does this gali mean? Right? Today's kids, have you seen in the social media these things? They use 4-letter word. You go to any of you been to any of these stand-up comedy shows? None of you. You must go as parents. You'll understand today's kids. Yeah. Is there a lot of foul language in that?
Yes. Unbearable.
Is the audience young or old?
Actually young.
Mostly young, na?
Mostly young.
So it is common currency today. ठीक बात है कि नहीं? But you have to understand that the kid has to be explained. कि what is the meaning of this? How will you explain unless the kid talks to you and asks you? कि mama वो मेरे को ना, he was using this word. Then somebody started laughing when they used that word. Why is it so? What happened? You have to patiently listen and don't put judgment कि अच्छा शब्द है या गलत शब्द है. बोलो बेटा, when they run out of vocabulary, they use these words. Am I right or wrong? If you could use some good word, then you will not use a foul word, na? So what do these stand-up comedians do? Why do they use a foul? Because they quickly draw the audience attention. Have you understood? Often they will talk about jokes about spouses, family and all in these comedy shows. Why? Because, for example, yesterday only I was talking to the chairman was there and she was there, and I was saying how in the army we have a thing, you're a commander and then you have a deputy. That how in a marriage the male is always the deputy. Why? Because the wife is always the boss. So in the army it is just saying whatever is your rank, your wife has one higher rank. Okay, now it's a joke, it's not really true. It's something we hide because we have an official position and they don't. Right? Now this is another way of making a fool of them. No, you're one rank higher than me. But he's one rank higher for one person, no? I am one rank higher for 50,000 people maybe. But the fact is all these things happen because we don't listen to the children. They have stories to tell. What are the chances your children like to talk to the grandparents more than they like to talk to you?
Oh, very high.
High chances?
High? Parents?
Why? Because the grandparents listen. Can you understand the simple? It's obvious difference. Yeah, we know it, and yet we are facing the problem. Don't the grandparents listen more patiently? And don't the grandparents always give positive strokes?
Yes.
However idiotic that grandson or granddaughter is. Huh? So I know, in my own family, I know so many people, including my own kid, they value the grandparents more than they value us. Right from childhood. Seen. So this is most important, that if you can devote in whatever interaction you have with your child, when they are very small, you need to talk more. And as with each passing year, reduce the amount you talk and enhance the amount you listen. Okay. But time will come when your kid is well grown up, and I'm sure today many of you must be thinking that, if your parents say something, it's a wise thing that they say. Even today, don't you agree? Did you feel that way when you were 14 years old? Or do you feel that your very parents, they don't, इनको समझ नहीं आती है? That's a common refrain I hear from students. My parents don't understand me, sir. Okay, you'll only understand if you listen. आप डॉक्टर के पास जाओगे, if a doctor, why do you like a doctor with good bedside manners, they call it? Because he listens to what you have to say. And I was telling the chairman in the morning, I said, in 2 seconds he can identify what's your problem. But वो आपको 15 मिनट कहानी सुनाने देगा. Right? Before you get medicine, you're already feeling better. हाँ या ना? So we know these things in real life. We don't practice it when it comes to our own children.